Hi, everybody, and welcome to Backyard at Bloss here in Dingle. Very blustery day. I don't know if anyone listening to us online will be able to hear the wind gales behind us, but it's not as bad as it sounds. We're all tucked up very nice and neatly here and cosy in this marquee at Backyard at Bloss. My name is Dee Laffin, and I'm the editor of Scoop Food magazine, and I'm a food writer as well. And I'm delighted to be here. I also judge Bloss as well, I must say. Every year I have done for over 10 years, and it's always amazing experience. And I know that Bridie just spoke from Taste for Success. I also did the development program in the Sustainable Food Tourism Experience, which was such an amazing experience. And I highly recommend to anyone, as a food journalist, I didn't know exactly what I was, going into or what I might take from it, but you take so much from it, and I think it's always great to educate and do more learning experiences. And just before I introduce our panel and kick off, I just also want to pay tribute to Mankan Magan, who died, who passed away. I don't know if everyone heard, but he was an inspiration to so many food writers like myself and food storytellers. I just thought his way with words and the Irish language and storytelling was just so magical and eloquent, and my heart goes out to Aisling and his family at this time. So just wanted to pay tribute to him before we kick off, because he had a connection with Kerry as well and Dingle, so we'll all be thinking of him today. I'm now to a beautiful group of people beside me. So this conversation is all about collaboration in food and community, and I can't think of better people to speak about it. I have Tom Flavin, the chef, with me from Cook and Cleaver Foods, Eunice Powers, chef as well, and the CEO of the Waterford Festival, yeah. And then Shannon first from Rívesci in Tipperary, and Kate O'Donnell from O'Donnell's Crisps. Two tip ladies close to my heart beside me here. But look, what I wanted to really discuss is, because there might be people in this room thinking about collaborating or haven't even thought about it. And I think what we want to show is that collaborations, like I collaborate with people all of the time through my work, and genuinely they have had what you take from it, what you learn from it, but also what you might not realize what you can give to it as well, is all part of the experience, because the people who benefit from it is the point, like the end user, whether it's an audience or whether it's a consumer of a product, they're the people that are benefiting from the collaboration the most. And it's such a worthwhile all-round experience. Like, everyone gets something from it, and it can really, lift everyone up through it, all the different brands and stuff. But it doesn't have to be just brand collaboration, which we're going to go into. It can be community collaboration, and it can be collaboration between chef and butcher, as we're going to speak about as well. So people within your industry, you might not even think about who you can collaborate with. I often collaborate with other food journalists, but I often collaborate with restaurants or chefs or festivals to create something gorgeous as well for everybody. So I think I'll come to you first, Tom. You have set up a good while ago now, Cook and Cleaver, with your friend Garrett. Yes. Tell us a little bit about that. How did it come about?
Well, I was doing some work with Garrett. The butcher industry is difficult at the moment, and lots of them are closing, so they need as much support as they can get. I spent quite a bit of time with him in the butcher shop, probably 4 years ago maybe now, and just chatting to customers coming in of what they needed. And Garrett had a young family, I had a young family, and you're busy, you're running, you're racing, you're going to matches, you're going to music, you're going to dancing, you're going to so many other things, and you have to get dinner ready as well. So what I used to do at home, and I still do, like a batch cook, and it might not always be at a weekend because I was always working weekends, but during the week you'd batch cook and you'd freeze lasagna, you'd freeze curry sauces, you'd freeze so many different things. And that's just a conversation that popped up with customers, and they're like, oh, that sounds great, I should do that. And then Garrett said, yeah, and somebody suggested we should both do it together, and we're like, yeah, we should. And then a few weeks passed, and we said, maybe we should do this. So it took us a year to actually get all the recipes done, to decide what type of food we were going to do. And then after that year of practice, it took another year to actually get it off the ground. So there is a lot involved behind the scenes. It's not just flick a switch and it happens. You need to make sure you're doing it right.
Yeah.
And we trialed absolutely every product from size. Like, we learned so much about I knew nothing about ready meals. I never would even touch them. Do you know, being a chef, it's
Yeah.
like something. No, I wouldn't even look in the fridge, and now I find myself leaning over and taking photographs of
Yeah,
freezers. It's like it turns you into something completely different. But now it's about what our challenge is now is to convert people like me and you that
Yeah.
ready meals. It's not all bad, you know, that you can, and it's down to the basic products.
Yeah.
So I just trusted Gareth and his product. Like he was a leading butcher throughout Limerick all of his life. And I used to buy meats from him. We did a few bit of collabs when I was a chef in the Strand.
Yeah.
But then you have to trust in the product or the person that you're dealing with too.
Yeah, I guess trust comes into it quite a lot. Actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I knew him, like we grew up together, you know.
Yeah.
He was in my class going to school. We used to sit down the back and we were always messing. And, you know, you know, it just happened.
Yeah. But what
few
you've also
times.
done is you've identified, and I think that can be, you know, part of it is identifying a gap in the market in some
Yes.
ways. I don't think that ready meals have fully come to their like fruition here in Ireland in
Yeah.
terms of being delivered to homes or being picked up in shops. Like I think there are amazing ready meals out there.
Definitely, there
But
is.
I don't think, like if you look at the States and stuff, there's just so much more around that there. So
Yeah.
there's definitely room for growth.
There is definitely, and like in the UK and in Australia, it's huge.
Yeah.
And that's our next step now is to try and trade online.
Yeah.
And just we're creating bundles at the moment that suit different lifestyles, and it's going to be trial and error for us too. You know,
Yeah.
it's a completely new space for both of us, and it's learning. Like
Yeah.
it's so much learning all the time.
Yeah.
It fills the brain space too. which is
Exactly.
good. It's good.
Well, I'll come back to you again about some more questions, but just moving on to Eunice. You've, through your work, I mean, you've always been a kind of a solo entity as such, but you're not, like as in Eunice Power, the company, but you've always collaborated with people through events, through work, and now with the festival. Has that been, like, are those collaborations been vitally important to you in developing all your different businesses?
Yeah, absolutely, Dee, they have. So I started at, I think I became a sole trader or like a self-employed in 2000. That's like years ago now. And yeah, I'm old. And everything I've done has been collaboration. So from my cooking perspective, I always wanted people to know where I was from by looking at a menu. So for 6 years, we cooked in the clubs in Three Arena, and all you had to do is look at the menu to see, you know, Dungarvan beer or Ballynacorty spuds or Grandstand tomatoes, or you'd know exactly where we were from. And I think that's really important, that wherever you are, people can recognise you by the food you cook, you know, and where it comes from. So that's one element, and that's something that I take for granted as being normal, but actually it's very often not. The other side then is I have been working with the Waterford Festival of Food. So as one of the co-founders, this is our 17th year. We're going to our 7th year this year. And 4 years ago, I took it over as CEO. And I feel for success of any festival or any community collaboration has to come from the heart. So coming from the heart is coming from the heart of a community. And for that, everyone has to be on board. And for me, it's been an amazing opportunity to sort of introduce people to each other, to get them working with each other, because very often in smaller communities, you know, we look at the person in the restaurant next door as maybe a little bit of competition, but that's actually not the case, you know. We're all together trying to make this place where we live a better place. And honestly, I've seen it unfolding in front of my eyes over the last few years, the community that we've developed in our own food environment in County Waterford. It's been incredible.
Yeah.
And it's so worth it, you know, because it gives us all a really strong foundation to blossom from.
Yeah.
So, collaboration is huge. And then I also think that, you know, I look at O'Donnell's Crisps, and over the years they've got such a strong brand, and they bring other people on board with them. And I love to see that, the stronger brand holding the hand of somebody younger and newer in the business and encouraging.
Well, that's it, bringing up another brand with them, and then a more established brand benefiting from the collaboration as well. So everyone kind of wins in that situation, which leads me nicely on to, thank you, Eunice, onto my, I'm going to kind of speak to you both. I suppose you can both take the questions. But Shannon, Rívesci, yourself and Declan Rívesci, supreme champions last year.
Still current champions for another. Yeah. I'm just going to hang on to that for another little while.
I love that, yes. Current supreme champion. this is your first collaboration?
Yeah, our first collaboration,
Yeah.
and what a collaboration to start out with.
So, Kate, did you suggest it first, or how did? Obviously, region is what's tying you together here. Regionality. So
Yeah.
you're both from Tipperary, food producers. Was that the link for you that
Yes.
you wanted to, or did you have the flavour first and then think of the producer, or did literally the flavour come about because of their hot honey?
So just to explain a tiny bit from the beginning, my brother Ed O'Donnell was in his early 20s when he started O'Donnell's Crisps, and
Yeah.
they launched in 2010 at a time that the recession was really, really bad.
Yeah.
But actually people were supporting local, and people were like, the farmers markets were becoming massive and they wanted to know the backstory. But Ed really wanted to have local artisan food producers for the great flavours. So he went to like Con, the apple farm in Tipperary, to get the cider vinegar for the salt and vinegar flavour. And it's really important to him from the beginning, from launch, to try and use local artisan producers as much as possible. So in Tipperary, we have a network called the Tipperary Food Producers
Yes.
Network, and there are over 30 food producers in that. And we're really close. Like, have a WhatsApp group that's extremely active. We have regular meetings. We all have each other's back.
Yeah.
So as Eunice says, it comes from the heart. Like, we really want to big each other up.
Yeah.
So when Declan and Shannon from Rívesci told me that they were doing a hot honey, I was like, oh my God, wait a second, we got to try and do something here. So I met up with Shannon and Declan for a coffee, and they were like, what's going on your head? I was like, I've got some idea.
Let's be honest here. It wasn't a coffee. It was in our local pub.
Yeah.
Just like
Honest
let's
going out now, yeah.
yeah, and that's how it all. I remember when Kate sent a WhatsApp, and I was like, oh yeah, no bother, I'll meet you. Going, Declan, what's this? Like, as naive and as green as it comes.
Yeah.
We sat down. And I was like, she's a little bag there. And I was like, what's she up to? And then she asked. And I don't know, Declan might remember better than I, but I don't know, was I speechless? Was I trying to hold back tears? Because I'll be really honest, and Kate knows this now, we told her after that first meeting, Declan and I have been like, imagine if there was a Rívesci and O'Donnell's Crisps. Like, imagine
really?
if,
That's
we've been
amazing.
talking about that
Maybe
for
you
years.
manifested it.
And
You
people,
never told me that until now.
Okay. But anyway, it's the truth. And we have, yeah, because in February or March, Declan was like, everyone is on about the crisp sandwich. He's like, we need to do the O'Donnell's cheese and onion and our cashew chili. And I was like, Declan, people will think we're mad. And he was like, so? And I was like, okay, let's do it. And I remember making the reel, and it was like the collaboration you never saw coming.
Yeah.
So when this came about, I was like, manifesting it has actually brought it all to fruition. So yeah, it's incredible.
And for you guys, when you have, like, I guess it's a question for both of you, but you've been the smaller company in your time that you've been in production. Was there ever a worry, like, obviously when you tasted it, you were so happy with the collaboration and the flavour of your product in it.
100%. And that's the one thing that O'Donnell's, as Kate just mentioned a minute ago, it's taste above all else.
Yes.
And that's what Declan is like in his heart. And as chef, I'm not a chef, but you guys as chefs, it's like, it has to taste good. If I'm putting my name to this, it has to taste good. And we were eating those crisps like there was no tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, let's put our name to this. This is
crisps,
so good.
yes,
Yeah, we're
they're
so
good.
excited.
Has everyone tried them? They're absolutely
you will
fantastic.
soon.
We have some for everybody in
We're
the
going
audience.
to have it. We're going to have it
for everyone in the audience. I've always wanted to say that. Yes. There's one for everyone in the audience. But yeah, I mean, the flavor's incredible. I guess that is like, obviously any brands thinking about it, or from a smaller producer, there is a concern that you want to make sure that your product isn't lost with a bigger company when you're working with it. And that's where trust comes in again, doesn't it?
100%.
All of you have worked actually with people you know. I wonder, is that something that it comes down to when collaborating? Does there have to be a relationship there already, do you think? Does anyone want to take that question?
No, definitely not. I've done lots of collaborations with different chefs in my hotel days, cooking in, like, I went to Mayo, I suppose, we did a dinner series, Bridge to the Bay, as part of one of Limerick's food festivals. So we brought Limerick food to Mayo and cooked in Mayo, and I didn't know the chef there. I knew Dermot Madigan, he was the GM, all right, but I didn't know the chef, and it was amazing, absolutely amazing. And then they came to Limerick and cooked Mayo produce down in Limerick, and again, it just blew everybody out of the water, but it was people weren't doing it. That's probably 15 years ago now.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
Yeah.
Now, I suppose there was a certain amount of trust because I knew the general manager. I didn't know the chef in the kitchen
Sure.
team. But after that, it grew. Some of my team went and worked there full time, after that, and we kind of swapped recipes all the time. And, it just builds relationships with people. I think it's fantastic.
I do feel though that you have to be like-minded, for it to really thrive and prosper, and to have that kind of same end goal in mind, and to really feel like you said, Tom, you may not know each other very well. Thankfully, Kate and Declan and I and Ed, we know each other really well, even more so now.
Yeah.
But it's when you're really like-minded and you want something to work so well.
Yeah.
You don't have to know each other very well, but it certainly helps, I think, when you're like-minded to push it on.
And, that must come into like a festival as well. I mean, you have to have an end goal. You have to be able to, because you have to put so much energy and time. And so people, I say everyone that you work with in the festival must be as passionate about having a festival for Waterford as you are. Like, as in, because it takes so many people to collaborate.
Well, it does, yes. But, sometimes you have to kind of work on the passion a little bit, because everybody is so bloody busy, and and then when you're bringing people in from other areas, they have to be confident in you that you are going to support them and mind them. So, like what we do a lot is we would say to, we've a guy in Garvin, Stephen Cass on the square, and I say, see, we do a pop-up here, and he goes, no. So eventually then, you match him with somebody and he comes around to it, I wear him down. But both parties have to trust in each other, and you have to make sure that happens. And again, like Dune Bakery last year did a lovely pop-up with Caitlin Ruth, and it was their first time doing it. So from both sides, you have to make sure that everything is in place, that this is a success. And you have to set people up for success to give them confidence, So that's, so I'm the in-between person who understands, what it's like to go to a tent like this and produce a dinner for, I don't know, how many could we get in here? 70? So you have to sort of have that understanding and trust. It's like jumping off a building. You want to make sure someone's there to catch you.
Yeah.
And so it's, but then that builds confidence. And as you get confidence, then people can learn to fly on their own,
Exactly.
Definitely.
So true.
And Kate, I know we're going to do some Q&As in a few minutes, but Kate, if as a a large company, a food company, are you open to people pitching collaborations, like as in, we'll all be pitching flavors to you now after this. But I just mean, like for anyone maybe thinking about collaborating with a bigger company if they're a small producer, how do you pitch to a big company? Do you think most big companies would be open to it? Who is the person in the company that they need to pitch to? Or, that kind of thing, like if anyone is thinking about.
So I guess we still run it like a small business.
Right,
So, it
Because
has
it's
to
a
be,
family
you have to be a
business,
little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So, I think you could, the guys in Ballymaloe, Maxine,
Sure.
she came to me and said, we absolutely love your crisps. I'm obsessed with your crisps. Do you think we could do something with the relish? And I was like, let's try. And like,
Another great flavour.
we spent 3 years getting that perfect because we both wanted it to be, does it smell like a jar of relish when you open the bag? Same with the hot honey. When you open it, can you smell the hot honey? It's important for both brands that everybody's happy.
Yeah.
So that's something that we do work on really, really hard. And yes, it's taste above all else for us. Like when Ed first started, he was a farmer. He'd nothing to do with, how to cook or how to try and make crisps at home in the kitchen at home. He nearly burnt down the place. But he drove to Ennistimon for this cheese that he once tried and loved it. And like from Tipperary, that's a long way down. And it was Mancallan cheese, which is no longer in production. But he just loved that cheese and he wanted to get it.
Yeah.
And then he just kept changing with the production team. No, it's not right. It's not right. He kept sending it back. He drove them absolutely bananas, especially because he's not a qualified chef. But he just had a vision and he just knew what he wanted. So yeah, I think if you have something in your head, then you can go with it. But yeah, we're very approachable, of course. So we're always thinking of new flavors. We're already thinking of next year.
Yeah.
So yeah, no
I
problem.
suppose planning ahead is key. So for anyone thinking about it, you know, like it's not something that's going to happen overnight. As you said, 3 years in the making with Ballymaloe, and yourselves took, how long did it take?
It happened really quick, actually, because we also do a bit of research and market research. We've got a little bit more advanced. So I knew that hot honey was trending. So I knew it was big.
Yeah.
It hadn't really hit Ireland yet.
Yeah.
I knew in the UK, in Europe, hot honey was on trend. And I was like, oh, I wonder what can we do? And then I just got chatting with Declan, who is a Michelin star trained chef. And he said, I'm going to do my own hot honey. And I was like, oh my God, let's try and do something here, because it was perfect timing. They hadn't launched their first hot honey yet.
Yeah.
We hadn't done anything about the crisps yet.
Yeah.
So it had to be done in a bit of a hurry, which was tough. But we made it work, and it was fab. And actually, in relation to Blas na HÉireann, at the time of entry, neither of our products were ready. So it's not actually entered this year.
Oh, yeah.
So this product and the hot honey will be in next year. So it's all
Very
extremely
exciting.
new.
Yeah. So good. And Shannon, for you, is there any take homes, major takeaways from the whole experience that you would offer advice to anyone?
Sorry,
go ahead.
There is. The first thing I would always say is dream big. Don't ever think that, my brand is too small for that, or, I don't have enough awards to try that, or I have no awards, and, this kind of thing. It's that mentality. It's like, no, I actually produced something really good, and I'm really proud of it. Like Ed, even when he was starting back with the cheese and onion, he's like, no, I know this is really good. It deserves its place in the marketplace, and I think a collaboration will be wonderful. And we were putting out the feelers for a long time. I sent Kate a WhatsApp the other day, and I was like, I've been an O'Donnell's merch rep for a long time, because I had a shopping bag, and it's so old you can just about see the O'Donnell's on it. Yeah. So I was like, I've been thinking about this for a long time.
That's amazing. I love that. Eunice, do you have any takeaways or any advice that you would offer to anyone thinking about collaborating, or why they should maybe think about it?
Oh, I think that well, it's dividing and conquering, So it's our collaboration is the opposite. It's sort of coming together and conquering even more, and it also keeps things alive for you, because it means you're working with new people. You learn more about their business. There are lots of takes homes all the time. Every day is a school day, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's and there's so much knowledge that we have together, and collaboration is a way of sharing that knowledge and building on those foundations. So I'm all for collaboration, for keeping things active, and also builds up a lovely community for yourself.
Yeah.
It's
that's true.
And that's very important. And at the end of the day, we all deal with people we like,
Yes, that's true.
And that's very important. And I love what Kate says about keeping the small business mentality. That is really important, because when things go to corporates and boards, it gets lost. And we don't want to end up in that kind of synthetic world. We want personalities to shine through.
Well, it's the best thing about Ireland, I suppose, is our size, isn't it? That even the food community, we're all here. A lot of us know each other so well that everyone is familiar in some ways. It's not such a big leap to have to go and contact somebody. So that's always a plus already, that we all know each other. Tom, any kind of key advice or takeaways?
Well, I think it's important from the beginning to lay down some ground rules. Our vision was similar from the beginning anyway, but I think for anybody outside, I knew the standard that Garrett's Butchers had. He knew the standards that I was adhering to all of the time anyway, and it just worked really well. The fact that we get on well helps too, because we go on road shows and we do tastings, and we absolutely love it. It's brilliant. You can it really comes across to the customer when we're together on a stand. We have such a laugh, and it's lovely meeting people, and they can see that this isn't fake. You know what I mean? It's actually real, and you're working with real people. I love it.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I was just thinking ahead of talking about the balance of work. Does that come into it? Did you have to agree on?
Well, we didn't agree really as such. We have a 50-50 split in the business.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to put everything he had into it. it took so long to get the correct amount. Like we do a bolognese and a lasagna, and we do a mince. But like sometimes he's like, no, the meat isn't aged enough, you know. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, come on, like. But like that's why it took 2 years to get it right, you know. And like we have to know our orders 2 weeks in advance because the meat has to be aged properly. It has to be minced a certain way, and it has to be roasted a certain way. So it's like we're just building layers and layers of flavors. So he gives it to me at a certain point, and then I take it away from there, you know. But it really, really works, you know.
I love
and
that.
it's the difference between a standard bolognese sauce that people make and the way we do it. It's just exceptional, and that's why people, you can there is a difference. There's a huge difference.
I love that. I love that. I kind of can't wait till you guys start rolling out deliveries and getting something delivered up to me in Dublin as well. I think it's the perfect time to open it out to yourselves for Q&A. Is that,
Oh, Declan's handing it.
Oh, the crisps are going out. It's going to be a bit of a distraction. I was just going to say, you know, in the Food Producers Network as well, and what you're saying as well, I do feel that when you come together, you're stronger together.
Yes.
You know, like you're bigging each other up, but you're both growing, no matter what size your company is. Like we're like texting each other all the time with ideas and have you done this and what about that? And I just think when you come together, it is more powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Oh, that's brilliant. If anyone has a question, do you want to put your hand up? We'll get you a microphone so you can ask a question. And also, for anyone online, I'm so sorry, but they're handing out free bags of O'Donnell's Rívesci hot honey fusion flavour crisps. So we'll taste them and tell you what they taste like.
It's a bit noisy, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll pinch them so you can have an ASMR experience at home. Okay, Mike, go ahead.
Hi, how are you? I'm Shemaine from Brave Marketing. I absolutely love these. I think it's an amazing collaboration. So well done.
Thank you.
And I do a lot of mentoring to brands, and one of the things I always talk about is collaborations and how amazing it is, like, and how beneficial it is. Shannon, I'd love to ask you if you could tell us now, you've been into this, done this experience.
Yeah.
What has it done for your business and your brand? And, you know, overall, like, obviously there's a lot more confidence there, but it would be great for other producers to say, how has it affected and impacted your business as a whole?
So,
Brilliant question.
number one, thank you so much. It's a fantastic question. But the number one thing was it actually really boosted our confidence. I know you've said that already, but for O'Donnell's to knock at the door and be like, there's this opportunity, we were like, so that was just incredible. And then in a business perspective, people that we had been kind of knocking on their door actually started getting back in touch with us.
Yeah.
And are starting to listen a bit more. And especially since we won Supreme Champion last year too. It's like we just don't think we produce great products, other people do, and it's gotten the recognition that it has done. But it really has opened doors, Shemaine, for us. It's gotten us more shelf space, which we all know is incredibly hard to get. A retailer recently that we met at Bloom, we thought might take 2 or 3 SKUs. They've took all 7 into 5 of their stores. So for something like that to happen like Q4 and you're heading into Christmas going, there's going to be more orders before Christmas, and you're like, you know, this is just brilliant. So yeah, confidence, and yeah, it's looking into growing our team. Excuse me.
Actually, Shannon, you just reminded me at Bloom, at Board B, a host a buyer's morning on the Friday morning at Bloom, and all the producers come together. But we weren't too far apart, our 2 stands. And any buyer that came to me, obviously they were a buyer for the crisp category, but I was like, have you got your colleagues here with you that buy the honey? Because I've got a really good honey producer over there. And they kept coming over to Shannon and Declan. So Kate O'Donnell sent me over to you.
And at the time, we were trying to keep hush about the crisps. So I was like, sorry, who sent you over? Why were you talking to? And I was like, can we talk? Can we not talk? Anyway, it was just a brilliant experience like that. And being part of Bloom this year was incredible for our brand too. The amount of people that we got to speak to, rather than me trying to search on LinkedIn going, hi. No,
Perfect
it was really good.
Collaborating with a festival, I suppose, as well.
Yeah.
And has the hot honey sales, like, did it help elevate those
Like
as well?
the
I presume?
online just went.
Did it? Yeah.
Oh, like it, and I'm not. I talk very straight and honest, and I'm not just trying to fluff it up because I'm here on stage next to Kate. It's the truth. And when we were at the ploughing as well, like chatting to Kate and Ed was like, how's business? And we were like, it's great. It's actually great. You know, we look back to 12 months ago and I'll be really honest, Declan was like, I don't think I can make it to Dingle, you know, because he was on his own in the kitchen.
Sure.
I was still washing pots. And now we're walking in here going, we've a team in the kitchen.
Wow.
We've got more shelf space. We have more retailers. We've an incredible collaboration. And what can happen in 12 months, I'm not going to get emotional. What
Yeah,
can happen?
I was going to say,
what
I think
can
that
happen
deserves a round of
in,
applause.
yeah,
Isn't that
amazing.
amazing? Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
And to Declan. Hiding
Yeah,
down
and to
there.
Declan.
Yeah.
I noticed you didn't hand us any free crisp, Declan. You're on my list. That's absolutely incredible and a brilliant question.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. One more question, yeah?
Congratulations, and I have to say, your story is fantastic. The financial end of it must have been a big challenge, and getting the capital. How have you any advice on that? Or
Still is. Yeah, like at the moment, I suppose from a growth perspective, we have 3 units. We have our production unit, we have an office unit, and we have a warehouse unit, and we're still bursting at the seams. So I think I spot John from the Bank of Ireland down there too. I was knocking on his door. Like when I say bursting at the seams, it's like, but we're there going, financially, how can we get to that next step? So for at the moment, it's all about getting more retailers and making sure our cash is flowing. Because in the beginning, like we launched in COVID and everything was on an upward trajectory. Like I didn't even have to think of looking at the bank account because everything was great. And then things started to peter out a bit and get a bit normal. I was like, okay, now I need to get my financial brain on. So like from finance, it's things are good, but because we want to take that next step to get our bigger premises, try get everything under one roof, yeah, that's a bit more tougher and a bit more challenging, but we're in the right place to be able to talk to our banks, to be able to talk to our LEO, you know, and to talk to other producers that have also gone down that road. And to not actually be afraid of it, because I sometimes think people, like Declan and I were so afraid to hire staff. Hiring staff is the best thing that ever happened to us. We were just so afraid going, oh my God, people's wages, like they're relying on us.
I was
But if
just
you
going to
don't
say the
take that
confidence
step-
you spoke about before that you got from the
Completely.
collaboration must come in there because
Completely.
all of those things you've talked about, scaling up, finances, all that sort of stuff, they're leaps of faith, aren't they? They're leaps of faith in
Completely.
your own business, in your
And-
own product.
And sometimes you don't know where you're going to land, but you're just like, let's go for it. And that's the real mindset that Declan and I have now.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the worst that could happen? Someone says no, that's okay. We'll find someone else that is more in our mindset and it'll work.
Yeah. This has been an amazing discussion, but we have to actually finish it off there because we have to make way for the next one. Please give a massive round of applause to my panelists.
Thank you.
And enjoy your crisps. And I have a small ask before you leave. I want everyone to take out their phones and go on Instagram and make sure that you follow O'Donnell's, Rívesci,
thank you.
the Waterford Festival. What's the handle?
It's the Waterford Festival of Food.
Waterford Festival Food and Cook and Cleaver. Make sure you follow. We need to follow each other, guys. We need to support each other. So please do that. And thank you so much. Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
Dee.
much. Yeah, cheers, everyone.
Thank you. I can't wait.